Hippo, I think. This is it seems like a hippo. I feel like it could be another animal. Like the one from that's a hippo in Madagascar. Like the giraffe, hippo, romance. I don't know what's going on with that. But what I want to talk about right now is doing a couple updates with the organizations I'm a part of and some personal development goals. So just to get right off the bat, with Terp Labs slash Terp Meals, we're a bit stagnant, largely as a fault of the project managers, myself included. We failed to communicate during the Thanksgiving break to make sure everything was in order before we kind of just like said, let's rest a bit. And now we're in exam season, so that's obviously the wrong move to make. And largely, what's really the issue now is that someone else, two people on our back, two people on our back is to work is dependent on another person delivering something to them, and that person is kind of not doing this. So it's a big bottleneck. So we have to communicate with that person. But that person is MIA largely due to exam season, I assume. So I have to message them again to make sure they get that done, so we can start moving fast. Because a lot of the work is really just like with the back end, a lot of the work is just to get the ball rolling. Front end is like they're moving really fast. I'm really happy with them. Back end, we have the people, we just don't have the ball rolling, and that's the biggest issue. Um, with Big Think AI, we're really just looking to expand. That's what we've been trying to do this whole semester. We've reached 1,000 members, which is crazy in my head. Cause like, dang, I was a part of the 1,000 member crossover. But we're looking to expand internally as a team as well. We have 1,000 members. We actually have very few leaders in the club. So we're looking to expand that to have people dedicated to different things. So like I work with the workshops and all that. And I also try and do like a bit of outreach here and there, which has been a role I kind of just assumed because I do a bunch of external stuff. However, if we have more dedicated roles to stuff like that, like outreach and event planning, it could really enhance the club experience. That's something we think is really necessary to bring the community. Like our goal with Big Think AI is really to lower the accessibility, to increase the accessibility to AI, right, broadly. However, to do that, you have to have workshops, you have to have project based learning, workshop based learning. And the last thing, you have to have a community to learn within. And that community is what we're really struggling to enhance because the community is something we can't just say, hey guys, talk. You need people to actively come on their own and talk. So we'll have more social events to kind of, nurture that community because we do have like recurring faces. So it's like there's I think that seed is just not nurtured enough through social events. And then lastly, with Do Quantum, we have a photo shoot for the end of the semester. The photo shoot is just to like establish the first cohort, I believe. So, um, like I said earlier in the year or earlier in the semester, Do Quantum is kind of like Blue Lock in the sense that you start with a big group of people, and then as the semester goes on, people drop out and just don't make the cut. So we made it the end, thank the Lord, because I was actually really, really stressful. I was really worried at the beginning because I was like, dang, this is how I'm gonna make it. But I had a really great team. I had a really great advisor. So that was really awesome. We've made it to the end. We've come up with our problem. Now we're just proposing that problem to different sponsors, and hopefully a sponsor picks up, and then we can build a proof of concept and go from there. But the photo shoot is tomorrow, so I'm gonna try and pick something nice because it's gonna be plastered over the internet in some corners. So that'll be nice to have a nice looking face and a nice looking outfit. They also updated the website. They did like a website revamp. And we're like my team is on the website, so that's really cool. So I hope to send that out soon. Also, funny enough, loosely related, UL Standards and Engagement, where I did my internship, they also did their they also published a thing about like the interns and like the experience, the student engagement program, I believe is what it's called. So I can also try and publish that elsewhere, just to kind of like make sure my LinkedIn is active and whatnot. Um, those are my three active engagements. In terms of personal development goals, though, my biggest thing right now is just making sure I ace my exams. Um, and Lars, I could yap about it all day long, but there's not much to say. It's like I just want to make sure I ace the exams. I've been making sure that everything is in order internally and externally, so I can do that. So even with this video, I have to wrap up soon because I want to go eat food and get straight back to working on the exam studying. Right now, I'm preparing for my CMSE 132 final midterm, right? And that's actually I have no idea how it's going to be. So it's going to be exciting to see if I can really ace it because I haven't been acing the exam so far. It's more so been in the C range, which I don't think is that good. I don't think it's indicative of my performance as a programmer, but I do think it's indicative of my discipline and hard work towards stuff that should matter. I do think studying actually does help a lot. I think it does. In in the age of AI coding, right? I think there is this risk that I'm scared of of becoming very dependent on the tool and losing a lot of the foundational knowledge. I think studying like classes like this, they build that foundational knowledge and they do really change how you think, right? There's like when I was working with the binary search tree problems, even though I haven't been able to get any correct, it does change how you look at problems and it allows you to break them down much faster. So instead of like going to like Claude or whatever model you use, I'm like, hey, make the UI look better. Like you're able to decompose problems into sub problems, and once you're able to do that, they become much more manageable, and you have a better result overall. So I think that's really nice. Work on the thing. I also do like studying. I think studying when when I procrastinate to study, studying becomes much more frightening, right? But when I started doing it, I started getting to like the zone. It's like it's a much more stack on top process of knowledge, and that's really nice to see. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to it. So besides that, I have nothing else to say. So have a great day.